Today I want to do something a little bit different, something I don't usually do on this channel. I'm basically going to be doing a vlog, and it's basically just going to be quite a few minutes of me talking. And unlike most of my videos, which do feature me talking quite a bit, this one won't also have a ration being reviewed. But I do feel that the topic is related to the channel, especially since 90–95% of what I do on this channel is reviewing military rations. And what we're going to be talking about is the recent hurricanes that hit the U.S. at the end of August and the beginning of September. Hurricane Harvey in Texas and Hurricane Irma in Florida. And when these hurricanes were forming and they were tracking them, I think that the media, I don't want to say that they were hoping, but they were kind of counting on them being a replay of Hurricane Katrina in 2005. In addition to causing a lot of devastation and destruction, Katrina was also a great example of the government not doing a great job of disaster relief. And so the media really was prepared to cover a lot of Katrina-type destruction, and I think the government was really concerned with having the same thing happen that happened in 2005, and they really wanted to be on top of it and do the right thing. And we're in the middle of September right now, so it's still in the process. There's still a lot of cleanup, a lot of relief that needs to be done. But so far, it seems like the government's following through with what they should be doing, and it seems like the media is doing an okay job of covering it, not trying to sensationalize it too much. But the reason that I feel that this really is related to my channel and worth talking about is that there are many facets to disaster relief on local, regional, and national levels. Of course, it begins with evacuation efforts before the storm hits, and then the search and rescue operations after. And then there's the whole process of relief and recovery. Power companies try to restore power, cleanup and repair crews go to work, buildings and other structures that are too damaged to repair are demolished, and the rebuilding begins. That's the kind of stuff that you can see. You can watch that on the news. But also behind the scenes, insurance companies and the federal government are assessing the damage and trying to help everyone as much as they can. And obviously an important part of any sort of survival situation, and I think natural disasters like hurricanes that destroy homes and cut off supply lines is a survival situation. An important part of survival situations is getting food and water to people. And in a lot of cases, that food will end up being MREs. Just like how it happens in the military, they really do want to get the people real food, nice hot meals, and sometimes it's just not possible. MREs are a great substitute. MREs were designed specifically for military use, but their ready-to-eat and shelf-stable nature make them perfect for disaster relief. People don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to prepare the stuff in here, or need to cook anything in here. Other than the drink mixes and a few other minor components that need water, all you need to do is open this up and eat it right out of the bag, just as it is. I have no doubt that many MREs are either being eaten right now in Texas and Florida or are on their way. And while I have no idea about the military supply lines, I will say that a quick look at Meal Kit Supply's website shows that they're completely sold out of product because of the hurricanes. And XMRE, another commercial MRE manufacturer, was also affected. Their website doesn't say anything about them not having any product, but they are based in Florida and were apparently affected by Hurricane Irma, and it's causing some problems with them shipping out orders. And the main reason I did want to talk about these hurricanes is to talk about how it affected the ration review community. You can watch the news and see all kinds of destruction. I'm going to post some photos on here. These are basically things I found on Google Images. I obviously don't claim to own any of them. But there's plenty of destruction, plenty of people who lost everything, and plenty of people who lost lives. I live in the northeast US and had the convenience of being thousands of miles away from the devastation. Days after the damage was done in Texas and Florida, we got some rain up here, and it was basically the last remnants of Harvey and Irma. It's easy to look out your window and see the rain and say, oh great, looks like it's going to be a crappy rainy day out there. And then it hits you that, hey, this is the same front that caused all that destruction down south. But that doesn't really bring the whole thing home as much as the personal stories do. And while I really don't have any family that were affected in either Texas or Florida, I do have a friend that lives in Texas. He's an Army veteran, and we became friends online through a mutual interest that wasn't military or ration related. I've been friends with him on Facebook for quite a few years, and I saw as Harvey was approaching Texas that he was evacuated to a shelter. And while I hope for the best, it turns out that his apartment and his car were basically totaled. He got like 5 feet of water in his apartment, and pretty much all of his belongings were destroyed. And his car, I can only assume with all that water, it's totally destroyed too. And I hope he doesn't mind, but I'm going to post a few pictures here of the destruction that he personally felt from Harvey. I'm hoping the government's going to do right and get him the relief that he needs. But in the meantime, he has set up a GoFundMe account, and I'm going to put a link to it down below just in case anybody wants to check that out. On another note, I was also contacted by a subscriber on Facebook who wanted to know if the old MREs he had on hand were edible. And with almost 60,000 subscribers currently, I can't help but think that at least a few more of my subscribers must have been affected by the hurricanes in some way. And I hope that you're all doing well. I already mentioned that the company XMRE was affected by Irma, but quite a few people in the ration review community were also affected. Steve 1989 MRE Info, probably the biggest name in the ration review community, is based in Florida, and he was in the path of Irma. And at least a few other members of MREinfo.com were also affected. As far as I know, they're all okay. At least I hope so. And I guess that's really all I have to say on the subject. Basically, I know that this was something different, but it did seem like it was, at least in some ways, related to MREs and military rations, especially when you're looking at them from a survival angle. And in closing, I guess I basically just want to say that I hope that any of my subscribers that were affected by the hurricanes, and everybody else who was affected by them, is doing okay, and I hope the recovery continues, and I hope that everyone will be fine. Thank you for watching.